Alright, so just quickly, we're cutting around the ceiling. One thing I forgot to mention is, remember we talked the other day in the earlier segments about some mould preventative. So we've bleached the ceiling, we know it's right to go, the smell's basically all gone. We've cut in the ceiling, in the paint we put some of this. Because it's a cheaper grade paint, grab some mould additive, whack it in your paint, and that really helps the prevention of mould coming back. This one's a tropical strength. You just add what it says, 50 ml treats 10 litres, work it out roughly, tip it in, mix it up, and away you go. Wash your hands after using it, it's just another poison. We do have a lot of poisons in this tray, chemicals and whatnot, so just be careful. So we're going to pick up our roller tray, we're going to work in the roller, we drag a bit of paint back, we push it forward, we've got a nice full rollie, feel the weight in it. Now here comes the next trick. The next trick is, this room's a bit of a dilemma. You've got a light source coming in from my right, you've got a doorway coming back from where Rod's standing now. So we've got two ways the light comes, and this is a dilemma because we generally roll to the light source. So any roller marks that you may get, the light runs along them and doesn't go across them. We call them tram tracks or whatever else when you're yelling at an apprentice. So we don't want to see any of those. Even though I won't get them, we still work with the same rules. So I'm going to roll it this way towards our light source. If you have multiple light sources, do it the lengthways of your room. So generally go roll towards your light source and you won't see any marks or imperfections in your rolling. Not that you'll get any anyway. So we've loaded up our roller. Instead of turning your back to you, I know we'd start in the corner. I'm just going to start out a little bit. And as I said before, the ceiling's very dry. So we just roll on. We always start, sorry I will have you for 1 second. So we always start out a little bit and then we come over. The reason is that paint there is very heavy. We've used some of the paint, we now go off to the side. So now we're just going to feather that out a little bit. Roll it out. Roll it out. Sorry, I've just got to turn around again. Go in close to your cornice without hitting it. Now I'm quickly going to do this side of the room and lay it all off. We're going to keep a wet edge and we're going to keep moving across the ceiling. So that way a wet edge is the shiny section that's wet. That'll tell you where to roll to. Otherwise you're going to get all confused, you're not going to know where you're up to, you're going to just hate it. So especially on a bigger ceiling. So practice on your smaller ceilings and you'll be away before you know it. Sorry about my back again guys. So again I started a little bit out. I've got a fair bit of paint on it. And what I'm going to do here in a second, I'm going to make a mistake and show you how to fix it. So you can see there, rolling away from the light source, tipping it off nicely. Always tip off the same direction every time. It just makes it look neater. I know I sound like a bit of a perfectionist, but I want your job to look good. Okay, I'm going to make a mistake. All of a sudden, I've hit the corners. What a mess. Can't leave it like that. Okay, I've cleaned the room out as best as I can. My brush is out there. What am I going to do? Little trick, not ideal. You can use it. Just use the roller. And make sure you don't get it too heavy. If you've got too much paint up, like I still have, just quickly get rid of some. If I do that, I'll get a texture. So again, just slide it along. And with that, when that dries out, you shouldn't see it. If you do, not a major problem, a little sand and away you go. I've got some paint up there drying, which I didn't want to be there, remember that, because I've made a mistake. So now I'm quickly going to go, I'm going to start on this side of the room to get rid of that. I want it all even, I don't want patches where some's thicker than others. Okay, now I'm going to tip it back off, I'm going to go away from that light source, I'm going to get rid of any marks. The next mistake I'm going to make now is what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tram track. See that line across the ceiling? There's another one for you. I don't know if you're picking that up.
Yeah, can see all that, mate.
See all that? Okay. Well, that's a tram track. Made by someone pushing down too hard on one edge or the other, or a really worn roller. Generally it's people. And they're pushing down, they're pushing the roller. The ceiling's flat, they're pushing the roller to exaggeration. They're pushing too much on one side. So we better get rid of that before it dries. So we want to roll them right out nice and neat. Okay, because I've been talking, we're losing our wet edge. So move fluently, and away we go. Fans are a bit of a bugger, so you've just got to move them around a little bit by hand to make them go away. Get out your road. So because the fan's there, we're going to start in the centre, and we're going to tip it all back on. Just tip slightly back over where you've done, and then we're going to do the sealing now in 2 halves until we get past the fan and we can go in one full stretch. So basically they're your number one problems you're going to have. Keeping a wet edge, stopping your tram tracks, and if you bump the ceiling, you bump the cornice, sorry. But when we go to the cornice this way, go in nice and close. If you do hit it lightly with not much paint on, you're never going to see it. But what it will do is it will stop your picture framing effect where you see the difference between your cutting in and your rolling. Alright? Good luck with your sealing. It's only the first coat. Don't get too stressed. We can sand, we can patch, we can fill anything you need to. So get that coat on, and then we'll get back and we'll get a second coat on, the sealing will be finished. Alright guys, I'll get this done.